Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my September TBR. Now, I've gone and done it again. I've set myself a massive TBR and I've agreed to partly join in 3 readathons. Readathons, yeah. Yes, I'm slightly crazy. I've got more buddy reads than I thought I was going to have. I've had to chop and change some buddy reads because people are busy. I'm having to reprioritise for October so I don't overload. But this month I've been a bit more sensible because August hasn't really gone quite the way I wanted it to go. But good news, September, kids are back at school. Yes. Freedom! Should have a bit more time to read. And I picked some good books, which I'm really excited about. So, enough of the rambling. Let's get on. Let's do the TBR jar first. I think I'm kind of in the mood for just finding out. TBR jar was not nice last month again. So let's see if it's going to be nice for me this month. Yes! Contemporary! Yes! Book at the top of the pile! I love the TBR jar! I got Step Back in Time by Ali McNamara. She's recently released a book. See, there's a TBR jar pick. So I got this last year. I think my sister gave it to me. Eeky, it's a bit of a longer one. It's about 400 pages. But it's one I'm excited about. It is. How far would you travel to find the love of a lifetime? When single career girl Jojo steps onto a zebra crossing and gets hit by a car, she wakes to find herself in 1963. Oh God, this looks good. The fashion, the music, a job, even the romantic life, everything is different. And it just so happens three more times Jojo finds herself living a completely new life in the 1970s, 80s and 19s. And the only people she can rely on are Harry and Ellie, 2 companions from 2013, and George, the owner of a second-hand record store. Will she ever return from her travels? Jojo must find out why she's jumping through time like this. God, this looks good. It looks just what I blooming need. So, these are the last 4 books that could get picked in October, November or December. But I'm not worrying about them now because I got the one I wanted this month. See, the next 4 are a bit like hit and miss. They could go either which way. But that's one I'm really excited about. So TBR jar has done good. Now for the buddy reads. I've got my 2 buddy reads with Gemma first. I'm also still doing the Barchester Chronicles read along. So that is partly as well. But I'm reading The Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy over the course of the month. You guys know I want to get all my Hardy books read by the end of, as many of them as I can read by the end of next year, because next year is the Thomas Hardy product, which I'm going to call it. But yeah, I'm kind of reading that a bit early. I'm going to read this over the course of the month with Gemma. So I've got 2 books that I'll be reading. I'll be reading this over the course of the month, plus the Barchester Chronicles book, and go from there. This one tells the story of Eustacia by Thomasine and Mistress Yearbright, and the men who influence and alter their lives. Don't want to know too much. It's a powerful and sombre novel, considered the most representative of Hardy's novels. I'm really looking forward to this. Now I know that my lovely friend Tori from Hufflepuff Discovery likes Hardy, so I'm really looking forward to this. Can't wait to bloody read that with Gemma. I'll show you my other book with Gemma actually next, because I thought I didn't really pile this up right. I'm also reading the next in the Doodah Chocolat series. And this is the second in the series. It's got 2 names, the Lollipop Shoes and another name, but I don't know what the other name is. Who died, I said, or is it a secret? My mother, Vivienne Rocher. Now, she was in the first book. Seeking refuge and anonymity in the cobbled streets of Montmartre, Yanne and her daughters Rosette and Annie live peacefully, if not happily, above their little chocolate shop. Nothing unusual marks them out. No red sachets hang by the door. The wind has stopped, at least for a while. And then into their lives blows Zoshi de la Barre, the lady with the lollipop shoes, and everything begins to change. This is a chunky book. It will be the last buddy read of the month, and it's one I'm really excited about because I'm loving this series. Well, I'm kind of gutted I gave Chocolat away, so I need to keep that now because, well. Then my buddy read. You guys know that I buddy read with Chloe from Chloe Reads Books every month, and this one is Conversations with Friends. Now, I enjoyed the other book by this author, but I didn't love it. And I've been told that if you love one, you won't love the other. So I enjoyed the other one, but I didn't love it. This one Whereas Chloe loved the first one, and not sure whether she's going to love this. And why can I not remember the name of the other book? But you guys all know about it. I am really looking forward to this book. I don't know much about it. It's fascinating, ferocious and shrewd. Sally Rooney has the sharpest eye for the most delicate cruelties of the human interaction. That's one of the comments at the back. There isn't really many comments on this. I can't actually see a summary about the book at all. Oh, here it is. Frances is 21 years old, a cool-headed and observant, a student in Dublin and an aspiring writer. At night she performs spoken word with her best friend Bobby, who used to be her girlfriend. When they are interviewed and then befriended by Melissa, a well-known journalist who is married to Nick, an actor, they enter the world of beautiful houses, raucous dinner parties and holidays in Brittany. This looks good. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm reading that second. That'll be the second buddy read. The first buddy read of the month, which I wasn't going to put on the TBR. This is now added to the TBR. So I think this one is going to overlap with that one, because the only way I can do my buddy reads this month is overlapping. But I thought I'd start the book with this, because you guys know Leanne Moriarty is one of my favourite authors. I got given this by Gaia last year, and now I'm going to read it with Gaia. They say trouble always comes in threes. As for triplets Lynn, Kat and Gemma, their 33rd year is no exception. Oh my God, I'm so looking forward to this. I love books with triplets. I love books with sisters. Sensible Lynn is struggling to balance being a mother, wife and a businesswoman without losing her mind. Kat, who has the perfect marriage, is the envy of all her friends, never suspects that her husband has been hiding a secret that will tear their life apart. And directionist Gemma, who changes jobs and boyfriends every few months and has met a new man who might be the answer to everything she didn't know she was looking for. They say, though, through everything, the bonds of sisters are strong enough. The bonds of sisterhood strong enough to withstand whatever life throws at them. Eek! Really looking forward to this. So that's like at least 2 contemporaries I'm super looking forward to. And that one's I'm really now looking forward to even more. And that one, so far, I'm looking forward to all of them. Then the last buddy read of the month will be, actually it's not the last, but you know what I mean. It's Exciting Times by Naya Dolan, which I'm buddy reading with Maria from I can't remember Maria's channel name, but I will link it down below. MH Books, there you go. I don't know anything about this, but I know that it was on her list of books. I knew my sister Charlie has it, so this is one I'm borrowing from her. When you leave Ireland to spend your parents' money, it's called a gap year. When Ava leaves Ireland to make her own money, she's not sure what to call it, but it involves badly paid job in Hong Kong, teaching grammar to the rich children. Julian, who likes to spend money on Ava and lets her move into his guest room. Edith, who meets Ava when just Julian's out of town. Money, love, criticism, unspoken feelings. So this again looks really good. It's not too long. This one's probably one of my shorter ones. It's only just over 50 pages. So that's one I'm really excited about. Can't wait to read that. Nice shorter one. Then just going to let you know the readathons now before I forget. So the Fall Into Reading Challenge is happening over September, October and November. And there is 2 boards. You've got a smaller board and a bigger board. I'm going for the smaller one this time, which I've gone for here. And it's got like 15 challenges on the smaller board. The other one's got a thingy. So I'm going to try and complete that. I'll link the hashtag down below. So that's running over 3 months. Then Krista from Books and Jams is running Series September. And I've got a couple of books which will connect with that. So I'm going to do a couple of prompts from that. And then lastly, 30 Books in 30 Days by Naomi, Gemma, and another booktuber. But I'll link Gemma's read-along announcement because Gemma's obviously one of my best friends. So I'm going to link hers. And I will probably link Tia's or Kelly's announcement for that as well. So, but her books, with 30 Books in 30 Days, because they're all on shorter books and I don't read shorter books, what I'm going to be doing is reading 30 minutes at a set time each day, which I can do. It's probably my realistic challenge. And they have other prompts, but that's going to be predominantly my thing for that. So sorry, I'm not participating anymore really with that. But next, I'm going to be doing my series books that I'll show you. This book is technically not a series book because it's a prequel to the Woolworth Girls series, but I'm counting it. It's the prequel. And this is actually set in 1905, and it's Ruby. You remember the great-grandmother in the Woolworth Girls series? She's heavily pregnant with her second child and 25 years old. Penniless and exhausted, and she's moving her family into a new home. Her husband Eddie's promised he'll hold on to his job this time, but is he keeping a secret, one that's too dark for anyone? I love Ruby. She's one of my favourite characters. I got this for my birthday from my lovely little Mia Moo, and I don't want to know too much more about this, but one I'm really, really excited about. I probably might end up starting with that. And then I've got my Tudor series, which is The Queen's Fall. And this is actually about some other characters that are actually not necessarily connected to Linked. But it's about when into the treacherous court comes Hannah, a young Jewish girl. And she becomes entangled in the schemes of the traitor Robert Dudley. Well, we know he's a traitor, he's baddie. And she's sent as a holy fool to spy on Princess Mary. Oh, this looks really good. So I don't want to know too much more about this. The last book in the series I didn't love very much. This is another longer book, but it's one I'm really excited by. So I will read that. And now I've got my other books. Actually, I'll show you the next book. The next book that counts for the series challenge. So obviously I've got those 2 books which will count in the series September. And then the next one is the second in the series, which is, I could have said to you, I'm not going to put it on my TBR. I could have said, because I knew I was going to read it, but I don't normally put like a random contemporary on my TBR. But I know after reading the book that I read last month that I wanted to read The End of Speech this month, mainly so I can know that I can read the Christmas book with one of my fellow booktubers. And I'm thinking here, from Red Dot Reads, my lovely Nikki from Red Dot Reads, I want to read the 3rd book in the series with her, so I have to read The End of Speech. I finished the Seaside Kitchen book and loved it, so I now want to read The End of Speech, and I thought, it's the end of summer, September, it's supposed to be a bit of a warm at the start of summer, so I want to read this. Thoroughly excited by it. I can't say too much more about it because it's obviously the second in the series and you've got to read the first to understand it, but it's about Flora, who's running the cafe, and Joel, so I really can't wait to read that. So and again, I may start with that. I'm not sure which ones to start with. I'm really so excited by them all. Then I've got my YA, my middle grade book, because I wanted to pick a middle grade book for each month because I need something to lighten me down a little bit. My sister Charlie gave me this at some point this year, The 1,000-Year-Old Boy. Ross Welford wrote another really good book, and I can't remember what it wrote, but it was a really, really good book, and I loved it, so I want to read this book. There are lots of other... Oh, yeah, he wrote the book that involves the wartime book that I just read, and I've given it to someone else. But there are lots of stories about people who want to live forever. This is not one of those stories. This is about a story about someone who wants to stop. Alfie Monk is like any other nearly teenage boys, except for the fact that he's 1,000 years old and can remember the last Viking invasion of England. So when everything Alfie knows and loves is destroyed in a fire, the modern world comes crashing in, and Alfie embarks on a mission to find friendship, acceptance, and a different way to live, which will mean finding the way to make sure he will die eventually. Hard-hitting, but looks really good. Then I thought I'd pick a book for autumn. It's been on my shelves for bloody ages. It's 370 pages. Suffragette, Autumn's Woman's Spring. I bought this last year and I wanted to get it off. This is a story of 2 people who experiences amidst the Titanic disaster leads them different routes into the heart of the suffragette movement. Love Titanic books. Love suffragette movement. Hard-hitting. Oh my god, this looks everything and more, but I'm scared by it because it looks very, very hard-hitting, and I'm just reading the Titanic Sisters at the moment, but thought autumn book I want to get off my shelves. Then I've got a book that I've had on my shelves for a while by Lucy Worsley. It's one of her YA books, Eliza Rose. Again, I thought I wanted a YA historical fiction book. I would often wonder about my future husband, a knight, a duke, a stable boy. Of course, the last was a wicked fancy. Ooh. Eliza Champadan is young and headstrong, but she knows her duty well. The only daughter of a noble family, she must one day marry the man who is very grand and rich, but fate has other plans. Oh, and she's drawn into the court of Henry VIII. Oh, exciting! Didn't realise this looks actually a lot more exciting than I thought. It's a shortish book, YA historical fiction. Looks really exciting. Can't wait to get to that. Then I wanted to put a thriller on my list because I'm going to try and get a thriller off. And I thought, I read The Catch by T.M. Logan, but I've not read The Holiday. 7 Days, 3 Families, 1 Killer. I thought, seeing as it's the end of the summer holidays, I would read this one. This one has had rave reviews. Katie from Books and Things liked it, but I'm really scared by it. It does look like a scary one. It's supposed to be the perfect holiday. 4 best friends and their husbands and children in a luxurious villa under the blazing sunshine of Provence. But trouble is in paradise. Don't want to read too much more. Scary, but I want to read it. Then I've got a book that my sister recommended to me, Only You, and there's also I've got Miss You, but I think she said this one to read first. Letty and Alf are the only English speakers at an Italian class in Rome, where they discovered the language that really connects them is dance. This looks really good. I don't want to know too much. One moment can change the past. It's clear that Alf and Letty have their secrets. Their relationship deepens as it becomes harder and harder to tell the truth. Excited by that one. Contemporary. Then I've got my non-fiction book for the month, which I bought from my charity shop, about drug trafficking. My mother is a prostitute. My grandmother and great-grandmother are prostitute. It's only right for me to join them. But I was given a way out. At 13, I was trafficked to England in a washing machine box. I thought all my dreams would come true, but my dreams soon turned into a nightmare. Hard-hitting, very, very hard-hitting, but I think I want to read it. It's a short and sweet book, it's not too long, about 300 pages, but it's very hard-hitting, but one that will probably get me thinking about how lucky I am. Then I had this book. I've had this book for ages, but what's put me off is because of bloody COVID. And it's set in England 1348. As the Black Death spreads throughout the country, people start to die by their thousands. Obviously, with everything with COVID, I've been really frightened of picking this up. But I'm hoping I've got the guts to go for it now. In Dorset, young lady Anne takes control of her lands with her trusted steward, Theodosius, at her side. Compassionate and resourceful, she decides to quarantine the estate against the terrifying pestilence, bringing it some 200 serfs into the mounted walls. But is such a confined space, conflicts arise. And we know what we've all been through this last year and a half and what we're still going through. But will this be too hard-hitting? I don't know. I've heard good reviews about this book though, even though it is massive. It's 500, it's the longest book of the month, 550 pages. But I want to read it. I want to see if I can handle it. I don't get me too emotional. Then my book, this is a short stories book that my sister gave me last year, and it looks really good. It's books of short stories. It's a beautiful copy. My sister gave me this a year or two ago. I think it was actually 2 years ago. The Best of British Novelists for Granta, and it's literally got for 3 consecutive decades. Granta has foreseen the brilliant careers of many literary pursuits, and this has got loads of short stories by loads of British authors, including Evie Wilde, Naomi Alderman, I've heard of her, Sarah Horn, I think I've heard of her. Could be interesting. So Sanjeev Sahota, which is the author of the next book, Zadie Smith. So this could be good. This one that might be good. And then last but not least, a book that I spoke about random buying books on one of my books. And this was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize of 2015, the year of the Runaways. I picked this up for £1 at my charity shop last year when we were obviously in lockdown, and all I could get was books from the charity shops. But this my sister is just reading China Room, I think it was. And this is 3 young men from very different backgrounds come together in a journey from India to England, where they hope to begin something new, to support their families where they can, to build a future, to show their worth, to escape the past. I'm actually really looking forward to this. It's scaring me by the size of it, but it's a beautiful hardback. And it's got me really thinking that I need to kind of... hardback. No, it's quite a nice hardback, so I'm going to give it a go. Now, are there any books of these that you think I should prioritise, read sooner? Any books that might be hard-hitting and I might need to leave for a bit? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you're reading in September that you're really excited about. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. I hope you all have a fantastic September and the autumn starts really well for you all. Love you all. Bye-bye.